Hello, welcome to St Ivo Academy. I'm Sam Griffin and I'm the principal here. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you this evening to this, our virtual open evening for those of you with young children in Year 6 who are looking to join the school potentially in September 2021. I'm sure we'll all understand that this isn't how we would plan or design to do open evening. We'd love to have had you all in the building and to show you around and give you a chance to meet both students and staff and to talk to us and get a real feel for how we operate. Obviously, in the current circumstances, we have to do that differently. So you will see on our website a number of videos that will take you through different aspects of the school. So this main presentation, you'll meet me, you'll meet a couple of my colleagues who work particularly closely with Year 7 when they join the high school, and we'll talk a bit about what it means to be a student at St Ivo School. There's an opportunity to tour the school in a separate video and to hear from some of our current Year 8 students who will talk to you about what it's like to be a student at the school. There's also going to be a series of videos on frequently asked questions because every year people tend to ask questions about the same kind of areas, particularly about, if I live outside the catchment area or how the curriculum operates. And there's about 8 of those that will exist as separate videos. And failing that, there's also an email address, openevening@astrayastIvo.org, which will allow you to contact us with any questions that aren't covered with information this evening or that are very specific to you and your family situation, and we will ensure that someone gets back to you and answers those. So I hope you find this evening productive and useful and gives you a sense of the kind of school we are, and I look forward to the day when I can welcome you all into the school face to face. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Mr. Very, one of the assistant principals at St Ivo. I'm in charge of safeguarding behaviour. One of my main roles is transition, working with the pastoral team to make sure that the transition from primary into secondary school is as calm and sensible as possible. I'm now going to go through a PowerPoint with Mr. Griffin to outline how the process will work.
Hello, I'm Mr. Braybrook. I'm currently head of Year 7. I'm going to be head of Year 7 in September as well. I look forward to meeting you all. Take care of yourselves.
Thank you very much and welcome to the Year 6 into 7 open evening for St Ivo Academy for students who are going to start with us hopefully in October 2021. What I want to do over the next few slides is take you through some key points about the kind of school we are and how we operate. So the journey around St Ivo is going to last for most of you until 2028. So this is a long-term investment in the kind of education that you want your child to have and the kind of environment that you want them to go from being a child to being an adult in. And what I want to give you a flavour of is the kind of school that St Ivo is. St Ives is a relatively small town in that there is only one secondary school, so we are the school for that community, but also in itself we reflect the town and we are a complete community, and we are the school for everyone regardless of their their starting point, their background or their aspirations for the future. If you're interested in Ofsted and school performance, Ofsted rates the school as good in all areas at the moment, but has talked regularly about the potential that it has to go even further. And I think already we are part way on that journey. So what I want to do really is describe for you what a student at St Ivo is like. Now, I think that a St Ivo student progresses well and achieves well across a range of subjects and at all levels. And certainly when we were last inspected, the team talked about the rise in the achievement of pupils, and that has risen further since then. And certainly if you look at last summer's exam results, you'll see some very, very strong performance in pretty much every area of the school and kids making progress well above national expectations. A St Ivo student is also one that is well supported and cared for. I'm very proud of the pastoral system that we've got in the school, of the form tutors, of the heads of year, of the student support advisors who work with young people day in, day out. The relationships that exist between young people and adults in the school are by and large very positive and constructive, whether that's dealing with praise, rewards for things going well, or having to challenge people when things aren't going well, or helping people through difficult times for a whole variety of reasons. If you talk to staff and students at the school, they will say that that's one of the strengths of what we do. A St Ivo student is one that grows socially. Yes, academic work is really important. Yes, making progress in the curriculum is very important. But at the heart of it is also how you develop as an individual, how you develop friendships, how you develop resilience, how you become the young adult that you're going to be. And that's a key part of the work that we do in terms of both our curriculum and our pastoral work. And you'll see from the inspection there, spiritual, moral, social and cultural development across the school is strong. Away from the curriculum, I think it's just as important to talk about the growth of young people as individuals, and that includes contributing things back to their community. So being involved in projects and activities that show different skills and help them develop attitudes that will help them in later life. So some of the pictures you can see here show a group of our students outside King's College in Cambridge, where they've been on a sponsored dance performance as part of some Children in Need work. In the bottom right, you'll see from 2019, this was our Summer Arts Festival, where over the course of an evening, we had about 500 people on site experiencing music, art, drama, interactive activities, quizzes, puzzles, all sorts of things, showing off the range of things that take place in the school. St Ivo students also do more than just go to their lessons. They get involved in activities at lunchtime, activities after school. Now, obviously, those aren't all running at full capacity at the moment due to COVID restrictions, but in a typical school year, you might find that for a year 7 pupil, there could be 30 or 40 different activities across the year that they can get involved in. So you can see there a picture of a rehearsal for one of our music concerts, whether kids are musicians, whether they're singers. We can have hundreds and hundreds of kids performing in those. You'll see sports teams, and St Ivo competes very successfully at both a local, a regional and a national level. The bottom there is a picture of dance work at the school. Dance is a really important part of our curriculum and something that perhaps lots of other schools don't offer in the same way. Every autumn we have a large-scale dance show. We hire the Burgess Hall for a couple of evenings, and it's called Ivolution, and you can see probably in excess of 200 kids dancing, normally with stuff that they've choreographed and developed themselves, and that's a real joy to see that during our school year. It's also important they have the opportunity to go beyond St Ives. Part of, I think, the role of being at high school is to experience things outside of your own community and your own environment. So you see there pictures of geography trips to Iceland. There's a picture of the ski trip. The picture in the top right is a trip we run every year for Year 8 students, where we take students over to Switzerland and they spend a week at a camp out there. We do mountaineering, we do hiking, we do canoeing, we do mountain biking, and it's a real kind of rite of passage for young people at the school. A St Ivo student also, during their time at the school, needs to be focused on success and looking to their future. On the picture on the left, you'll see a group of students gaining their A-level results prior to going off to university. And every year, the vast majority of our sixth form go to university. And every student who wishes to take up a university course has been able to, thanks to the grades they've got while they've been at St Ivo. The picture in the bottom right shows one of our girls' football teams. This was 2019 when we were the English Schools Football Association Girls Under 16 National Champions, a trophy that we have won more than once. So we are one of the leading schools in the whole of England for girls football and enjoy great success in that area. Another thing that you might not be familiar is the fact that the school is part of a larger organisation. So we're part of what's called the Australia Academy Trust, which is a group of 27 schools who are based across Cambridgeshire, Sheffield, Barnsley and Doncaster. The values of the trust are laid out there, but basically we are all part of one organisation that works to improve the educational opportunities and the life opportunities of young people in those 4 areas. And we all work very closely in sharing resources, sharing outlooks and ideas for how we do things, and equally importantly, in terms of assuring that the quality of what we do is at the right level. Now, for the second part of the presentation, I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Vary, who is one of our assistant head teachers, who will take you through some key information about the process of joining the school. Thank you, Mr. Vary.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. So what to do next is kind of where I want to pick up from. Hopefully you've got a nice flavour from the school and what the school's about. There is a further couple of videos for you to watch. One is on the frequently asked questions. There's a dialogue with that as well, so you can kind of really hone into the questions that you might want to be a bit more specific on. We've also done a video of some of our currently year 8s, and they're going to talk you through how transition worked for them. And how they found moving from primary school into secondary school, and give you a bit more flavour of their experience of school. If you do have any further questions after listening to those videos and watching this video this evening, then there is a designated email of openevening@australiastivo.org, where we will get back to you with any questions that you think of. And then it's the process of applying online through Cambridgeshire County Council. Make sure that's done by the 31st of October. Don't want anybody to miss that date. And then places will be offered on the 1st of March, so next year. We currently have 296 places, so it is important that you do make those deadlines so that we can actually start the process and the communication between home and school. Once that process and place has been offered and accepted, we can then start the transition process with the primary schools. So we're working lots with year 6 teachers, finding out lots of information about students, so that we can be as forewarned about any kind of particular problems, or certainly the issues in terms of making sure that learning escalates as quickly as we can when we come into the start of year 7. Start of year 7 will involve every student being allocated a tutor group, and they will stay as a tutor group until the end of year 11. They'll also be allocated a house that will be reflected in their uniform, but also there will be house assemblies, there will be house fundraising events and different competitions for them to get involved, and that again gets them out of just the year 7s and works all the way from year 7 up to year 13. All of the members of staff in school are also members of those houses, so it gets that cross kind of year group and interaction happening on there. We also start to think about how we will see the journey from, as Mr. Griffin alluded to earlier in the presentation, to 2028, where we will be looking at progression from Key Stage 3 to Key Stage 4, and then subsequently on from Key Stage 4 to Key Stage 5. I think that's important that we identify that now as part of the process. This is one transition. There are those transitions to take forwards. Then just finally some key dates and information. Key dates for transition. Hopefully, if we are able to do these, we weren't able to do them last summer, obviously. So the year 6s or current year 7s missed out on those. But hopefully we'll be in a position to do that for this year. They're Thursday and Friday, the 15th and 16th of July. The Thursday is where students will arrive at St Ivo, and they will be put into their tutor groups. So they'll get to meet other students from other schools, which we will have worked on with the primaries prior to that. And then they will have a day of sample lessons, so they'll get to go around a few lessons during that day and get to know the building a little bit before the summer holidays. We then have the Friday, which is more of a social event, but also some structure within the sports day. So we will hopefully be doing that up at the outdoor complex or in the one leisure centre, depending on weather, etc. but that gives the students a really good opportunity to get to know people in a less formal setting than the classroom, so that they hopefully will then leave over the 6-week holidays with a positive experience, knowing different students that they're going to be with, hopefully form some new friendships, which I think that's really important during the transition into secondary school, and that they won't be worried or anxious around that transition period over the summer before they join us in September. There will be extra visits again, if we can do those for certain groups of students, but again, that will all come through as liaising with primary school teachers throughout that process. I think that's in terms of the process. In terms of finding out more information, unfortunately, as we said earlier, you can't be in the building with us. But there's lots of information on the school website, lots of different information that you can find out about courses and all of the things that have been highlighted about the school. For those of you who are into social media, we are very active in Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So please have a look at those. Find out even more about the school, find out all the things and exciting things that are in store. And we look forward to hopefully welcoming you into the school in September and getting to see you and meet you as we move through your time in secondary school. Thank you ever so much for listening. And as I said to you earlier, there is the email for any further questions should you need to. Thank you.